here. Then when the time is right, blow something up.
Don't mess this up for me, Gooby.
With the team split up and the plan set, I felt that familiar rush. The one I always got right before something insane happened, and I knew things were about to get very chaotic. Alright, let's move. Time to show these scientists they don't own all the XP. It's for everyone. I had to get my bearings and try and figure out where we were. I had no idea how to get back to the main lab. That's when we decided opening all of the doors would be our only chance. We found the brain rot room, then we found the fat room, and we even found Grox's room? By the time we stumbled into a hallway that felt familiar, I was ready to give up. And then I saw it. The door that led back into the main lab.
There it is, finally.
Wait, hold on. There are a few guards in front of it. We need Jeff and Gooby to start the distraction, now! We crouched in the shadows trying to figure out our next move. Then, one of the guards perked up.
Wait, did you hear something?
Uh-oh. He started walking towards us, slow and suspicious. My heart began pounding in my chest. I held my breath. And just when it felt like we were done for, an alarm blared and the guards immediately turned and ran in the opposite direction, leaving the lab door completely unguarded. Yes, that's our chance. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. And for the first time in hours, we had a clear path. Let's go. Time to finally get those vats. We finally made it inside the lab. I scanned the room looking for the control panel I remember from before. The one that could redistribute XP to all the tiers. And there it was. That's the one. I stepped closer, but as soon as I got near it, I froze. Something was off. The panel, the lever, it wasn't there. Wait, where's the lever?
What lever?
The lever to the XP distribution system. The one I saw last time I was here. The panel had looked like someone had broken it, and suddenly the stakes felt even higher. Great, just great.
Well, we can figure this out, right?
I nodded, trying to hide the panic. Somehow we had gotten this far. Somehow we'd make it work. But now, we were gonna have to try and improvise. Alright, let's see what we can do. Time to find that lever. We'd barely started looking for the lever when the door swung open. And there he was. The scientist, the one whose clothes I had borrowed, and somehow he was still in his underwear.
Well, I've been waiting for this moment, looking for this.
I froze. We just stared at each other, and in his hand was the lever. Somehow, all the chaos, the vats, the back rooms, none of it prepared me for this. Then the scientist pulled out a glowing red XP orb.
I have one too now. I made it after you left.
Before I could react, a bolt shot straight at me and I barely dodged it. What? How?
It's time to die.
We circled each other, firing orbs back and forth across the lab. We sent sparks and XP shards flying. It looked like Bob was crouched in the corner, trembling, too scared to even look. This is insane. I turned to look back at the scientist, but it was too late. He hit me square in the chest and everything went white. Suddenly, I was somewhere else.
Huh? Uriah? You aren't supposed to be here yet. Oh, 1 second. I'm being told that you've shown a lot of violence recently and stealing people's clothes. You know, Uriah, violence isn't always the answer. Because of that, I'll be taking that orb from you.
Yet? What do you mean yet? Well, there isn't any time. Just send me back. Before I knew it, my orb was gone. Then he disappeared again, and just like that, I was back. My heart was racing, and every muscle was tense. I looked around and the lab was quiet. The scientist, gone. Maybe he left. I turned slowly, but there he was. Behind me, ready to strike.
It has to be this way. I must enter creative mode, and killing you is the only thing stopping me.
My mind went blank. I didn't know what to do. One wrong move, and it could be over. Wait, there has to be another way. The scientist looked over at me, with his red XP orb crackling in his hand. I could feel the weight of everything on my shoulders. I had to think fast. This wasn't just about surviving anymore. This was about every tier, every player, every person being used for their XP. And I wasn't about to let him enter creative mode. Not on my watch. Alright, think. I backed up slowly, keeping my eyes on him, watching for a sign of where he'd strike next. Then an idea came to me. The panel. If I could somehow get him to shoot his orb at it, it might trigger the system. There was only one way to find out. I backed up toward the XP distribution panel. Hey man, there's a way we can solve this together. But we have to free people from this life. You can't keep farming them for their XP. I moved back little by little, and the scientist was quiet. It seemed like he was thinking about it, but then he spoke up.
Hey, stop moving. If you take one more step back, I'll fire this at you.
I had no other choice. This was the only chance. I dashed toward the panel, and my plan worked. I took a big hit, but he also hit the panel, and a different kind of alarm started to blare.
No, this can't. I'm supposed to activate creative mode. You ruined everything. You'll pay.
He still had his orb, and all it would take was one shot to kill me. I knew this was the end for me. I'm just glad I was able to make it count. I closed my eyes, waiting for the final hit. That's when an explosion went off. Am I dead?
Nope, just open your eyes.
I opened my eyes to see a guard carrying the scientist.
Put me down. I will finish my plan.
The guard walked him up and put him in one of the vats. The scientist was now trapped. Even with the orb, he couldn't break free.
You really did it, Uriah. We all did it.
And even though I was still shocked that I was alive, I smiled. This was why I kept going. This was why I never gave up. I couldn't believe it, but we really did it. We set off the tier distribution panel, meaning all the tiers have been flooded with XP. Nobody needs to suffer anymore to get by. And above everything else, I managed to accomplish my dream of reaching the highest tier possible. But the work wasn't all done. I'm sure there are other scientists out there who still want to carry out the execution plan. But for once, I am confident we will be able to stop them. And as we left the lab, I couldn't help but think, creative mode might be a real thing. Who knows? Maybe one day, we'll reach it.